You gonna dig a hole? Where are you going? Don't get any ideas. So Panda is watching Bindi like, what is going on with you? Yep, there you go. You're going to sort it out. You guys can work it out together. Little kitty conversations. Yeah, so last night I was up on a ladder painting some things. I do still have paint on my arms, but I also have happiness, to see something like a creative project moving forward. And I was thinking about it in terms of actually our conversations about tapas and discipline, that there's a certain discipline required for yoga, and there's also a discipline required for those creative undertakings, the creative activities. If we aren't thoughtful or careful about it in life, as I talk to yoga students and students in my Hunger, Hope, and Healing program and other places too, what I hear is that life in the form of its responsibilities, duties, obligations, all those things, life seems to take over. And people find that they don't have time for things like yoga or their creative undertakings, or to go pee. They don't have time to hydrate. They don't have time to exercise or to get into nature. And so the tapas of that relationship that we have with time, I think it's really key. And we can create places of leadership and like small inroads to shift that tapas to be the kind of what I call self-nurturing or self-caring discipline that sets your boat on the ocean towards the destination that you want to go. In this case with yoga, it's towards a greater sense of health and vitality and liberation, ultimately, as we say in yoga. So let us embark. Again, I don't know what is Bindi up to today, and Panda is watching Bindi. Like, you're like just a tiny bit of crazy right now. Yeah, you just keep digging your hole. So yeah, it's okay. Oh, now she's digging for treats behind me. Maybe I'll set her out because she could get a little bit rambunctious. There's nothing under that blanket, honey. There's nothing there. No, I promise there's no treats under there. There's no treats over there either. Come here. No. Why don't you could head out and play with your papa and your mama. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Okay. Let us begin now with fewer distractions. Please take a comfortable seat and rest your hands in your lap. And thank you for making the time for your yoga practice, right? For not saying that you don't have the time for it. Through the spine and set the shoulders back. Start welcoming the breath to drop deeper down into your pelvis. And as your breath deepens, sort of arrive at the inner place where you have a sense of your personal intention. Yeah, what is your commitment for being here? What motivates you this morning? And then please raise your hands to your heart. May our practice protect us from our own mental shortcomings. May our practice nourish us so we can live into our values, our personal values. May our practice strengthen us where needed so that we can overcome forgetfulness or ignorance or heaviness, tamas, and move to jyoti, the light of wisdom or understanding. And along the way, may we not feel impatient with ourselves or each other. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Savidyam Karavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Viveshavai Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Savidyam Karavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Viveshavai Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Savidyam Karavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Viveshavai Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. With your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands and open your eyes. I have created a dilemma for Panda. I'm not sure she's going to overcome it, and you guys can't see it. Let me just move this object because her little hiding spot is blocked. There you go, honey. I know, that's sad. It was just a misunderstanding between us. There you go. You can hop on in. Panda has a place where she hides during class, and what happened is I hung one of my saris. I had washed it, it's just drying, and it was blocking her entrance. So she was pretty distressed about that. Now she has access. Okay, please come to the seat that you use for pranayama. And as you're taking your seat, I'd like you to stretch the hands out over the knees and make them taut, so that when you have this kind of grip, there's a feeling of pulling up that does stretch into the upper chest and the throat. Okay, so inhale, raise up and look up, open your throat, open your heart. And then exhale, turn and look down over your left shoulder. Inhale, pull up and center. And exhale, turn and look down over the right shoulder. Inhale, pull up and center. Let's go left again, exhale. Inhale, gaze left and up. Exhale, gaze right and down. And then last time, inhale, gaze up and center. And exhale, release. Clasp your hands at the small of your back. Roll the shoulders open. So your arms a moment ago were in the front plane of the body. Now they're in the back plane of the body. So inhale and lift the chest and the heart and the collarbones. And then exhale, rotate your head to your right as far as it comfortably goes. Inhale, go to your left. And exhale, go right. And inhale, left. And exhale to center. Raise up through the heart. Place your knuckles on a block or a blanket behind you. And then exhale and come upright. Release your hands to your lap. Notice any bit of extra sort of freedom or lightness that comes into the chest, the shoulders, the neck, or the throat. And now Bhastrika, using the solar plexus and the diaphragm. Exhale. Inhale up to suspension. In your own timing, exhale thoroughly and completely. Deeply relax. And then Bhastrika a little bit more briskly, so still staying at the solar plexus and on the pelvic floor so you don't feel like the body is jolting when you do it. So from here. Exhale one long time. Inhale up to suspension. Exhale smoothly and completely. Kapalabhati, left side, right side, left side, right side. We'll do 30, 30, 20, 20, 10, 10, like this. And then let's go from 10 to 5 and then down to 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So close the right nostril, please. Exhale completely through both nostrils. Inhale both nostrils up to suspension. Close the right nostril, exhale left side. Inhale left up to suspension. Close the left, exhale right. Inhale right up to suspension. Exhale left. Deeply relax. Really that the mind gets a little bit still, or you return to that inner stillness that you know is there all along. Your shoulders, please. We're going to go left, right with Kapalabhati. So at your own pace, of course, but keep it rhythmic and steady. Five, four, three, two, one. Come to center. Inhale up to suspension. Exhale thoughtfully and completely in your own timing. Please come to in table pose to your hands and knees. Place your hands at their shoulder width apart. Inhale to cat pose. Exhale to cow pose. We will be using lion's breath once we get warmed up in the spine. So inhale to cat. Exhale to cow pose. Slide your shoulders down away from your ears. Glide your heart forward. And inhale to cat pose. Press firmly down through both arms. Broaden your lower back. Exhale, child's pose, keeping the cat pose spine. Inhale, roll up to cat. And now lion's breath, cow pose. Inhale to cat. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, cat. Lion's breath. Inhale, cat. Exhale, child's pose. Squeeze the breath out. And once more, inhale to cat. Sit back to kneeling for a moment and just rest in Vajrasana. Don't make any particular effort. So in the last few weeks, you guys can keep resting. I'm just going to give you a preview. We've done different variations of where when you get to the end of the exhale, you squeeze the breath out. And then there's this radical relaxation and a natural internal suction happens in the inner body. So we're going to place that into the sequence that we were just doing there. You have enough oxygen, so don't worry about a small period of not breathing. What we're going to be doing is when we go from cat and down to child's pose, I'd like you to squeeze the breath out pretty completely and then pause here and deeply relax the belly without inhaling. You'll get that momentary suction, and then you're going to regulate that suction and inhale up to cat pose again and exhale to cow pose using lion's breath. So let's do it together on this first round. So inhale to the cat pose and round the back of the body. And then exhale, squeeze the breath out in child's pose with the arms extended in front of you. Without inhaling, totally relax the belly muscles. Create tone in the belly. And then inhale, roll up to cat pose. Exhale, cow pose. Inhale to cat. Exhale, child's pose. Holding the breath out at the end, moment of suction. Tone the belly, inhale to cat. Lion's breath. Okay, twice more. More time through. Now table pose and sit back to Vajrasana. Okay, so you're doing a cleansing technique there, using the entire, like the mouth, the tongue, the throat, down into the deep abdomen. Just pause and notice what is happening now. Please come up to standing. You'll need a yoga strap and a couple of blocks. You don't need them right away, but you can go ahead and get them ready. You can put the blocks at the front of the mat. The strap is for a little bit from now. So rise up to stand in mountain pose. Join your palms together at your heart. So considering that whole track that goes from the tongue, the mouth, the throat, down to the digestive system. Now come into the Ujjayi breath and make the back of the throat more hollow and the sound of the breath really subtle. So your tapas includes how do you cultivate that really subtle experience with the mind, drawn into the mystery of the breath there. Trance that we can create, as my teacher Acharya has been talking about, because we have the capacity to create this trance from yoga, he says we ought to commit ourselves to it. And the trance that we can create, the cultivation of that mind state that is in the mystery. I don't want to miss the opportunity for that. Next inhale, sweep the hands down, take them wide, rise up. Exhale, chair pose. Now raise your heels. Exhale, come down to the squat with your heels lifted and the knees high. Inhale, Uttanasana. And exhale, deeply bow towards your legs. Inhale, glide forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, take the left toes back and touch your left knee down. Raise your right heel. Inhale, anjaneyasana. And exhale, descend, place the right heel down, place your hands on your blocks. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Exhale, left foot forward, right knee down, left heel up. Inhale to rise. And then exhale, descend, lower your left heel down. Inhale to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Listen for the subtle ujjayi during your inhale. This time, exhale forward to plank. Inhale to seal pose. Exhale, cobra. Inhale, seal pose. Exhale, plank. Inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, right foot forward. Inhale to crescent. Keeping the subtle form of the Ujjayi, exhale forward over your right leg, touch the left knee down, raise the right heel up. Inhale, anjaneyasana. Exhale, lower your right heel and your hands. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Listen for the subtle Ujjayi during the inhale. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale to crescent. And exhale as you come down, touch the right knee, raise your left heel. Inhale, anjaneyasana. And then exhale, lower your left heel and your hands. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Listen for the inhale. Exhale, plank. Inhale to seal. Exhale, cobra, bhujangasana. Inhale, seal pose. Exhale, plank. And inhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, one foot forward, second foot forward, Uttanasana. And inhale, rise up, upward hands pose. Exhale, hands to the heart. Okay, listening for the Ujjayi. Continue, please inhale, raise your arms up. The sound of the breath can be very subtle. The pace of the breath slow and steady. Raise your heels. Move on to the squat. Uttanasana. Deeper squeeze. Inhale, glide forward. Exhale, left toes back. Okay, inhale to crescent. Exhale, warrior two. Keep the front leg steady and open to warrior two. Your back heel is the last thing to come down. Okay, turn the right hand skyward. Inhale, rise up. Listen for the subtle sound of the Ujjayi breath. And then exhale, windmill your arms over to either side of those blocks. And inhale to plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Listen for the subtlety of the inhale breath. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale, rise to your crescent. And exhale, warrior two, focusing on stability in the front leg as the back heel is the last thing to find the floor. And inhale, raise up. Now windmill the arms over on either side of your front foot to your blocks and inhale to plank pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Listen again for the beauty of the inhalation. Smooth exhale to plank. Smooth inhale to seal pose. Exhale, Bhujangasana, cobra. Inhale, rise up, seal pose. Now exhale to plank. And then bring the right leg forward into pigeon pose. Let's walk the left leg back and down. And if possible, press into the two blocks with your hands and mimic the kind of cow pose or seal pose with the chest and the heart. When you stretch the front line of the body here, keep the Ujjayi breath really beautiful and subtle. And see if you could sense on the inside either this pathway, the digestive tract, all the smooth muscles that are in there, or maybe you have a sense of the gut-brain axis, the vagus nerve. And then exhale and put your weight into your hands and arms. Tuck the back toes under. Inhale to plank. Now take the left leg forward. Touch the right knee down. You can squiggle it back. As you press into your hands, raise up with your chest and heart. Sense the front line of the body that you're breathing into and opening. And then exhale. Place your strength into your hands and arms. Tuck the right toes under. Inhale to plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. And then exhale, one foot forward, second foot forward, Uttanasana. Inhale to rise, upward hands pose. And exhale, hands to your heart. Okay, let's take a little deeper exploration into the hip flexors, which I think we did Supta Virasana on Tuesday. So take the left toes back, please, and touch your left knee down. Now we're going to keep the hands on the blocks and use the same kind of cow pose or seal pose for a moment. So press into your fingertips or your flat palms. Raise your chest up, open your throat. You might sense that more in the upper region in this case. Now bring your chin down towards your throat and try looking down towards your left knee without actually moving the body. So you might start sensing the left hip flexors lighting up as you bring the cervical spine into flexion, bring the lumbar spine towards flexion also. And in return, lift your heart, open your throat, lift your gaze. your chin towards your throat, keeping the posture pretty stable. Gaze down as if you're looking down on the inside of the spine, in towards the inner left belly. And then bring your torso over your right thigh. Now, everything is always optional in yoga class. So what I'm going to say next is still optional. You can bend the left knee, reach the right hand back, and take the top of your foot there with your, hold the top of your left foot with your right hand. And say hello to your quadricep muscles, especially if you went skiing yesterday. I know some of you did that. And then exhale to release the left foot back down. Place your hands and let's step backwards to plank pose. And then downward dog pose. Okay, please bring the left foot forward. Touch the right knee down. Come to your fingertips. You can ease the hips forward towards the front ankle. I would request that you just keep, for now, the front heel stable since we're going to be changing positions. Let's inhale, raise up. Press your fingertips down, roll the shoulders back. Then keeping the posture relatively stable where it is, bring your chin down towards your throat. Look down as if through the inner body towards your right knee. And then raise up again, open the front line of the body. So bring your chin down towards your throat. Gaze down towards the right knee. And then come over the left leg. Place your blocks and hands where they're comfortable for you. And of course, it's optional. You can bend the right knee and reach back to hold the top of your right foot with your left hand. Try to keep the hips level so your front foot is also stable there. Lower the right foot down, walk your hands back and let's step to plank pose. And then touch the knees down and sit back to Vajrasana. And just take notice when you get there. Okay, what is happening now in the inner body? So that will also have influenced the digestive system and the gut-brain axis. You might even get a cleansing response where you could feel like momentarily altered or woozy. That should settle itself out. Let's take a look then at Supta Virasana, a component of Supta Virasana. You're going to need both of your blocks. The strap is going to be used in a short while, but we don't need it at the moment. So I'd like you to take a seat on one block on the bench setting, like this. And let's bring in this case, the right knee up. So it's up and supportive. And then place this block behind you so it might be there at the ready if you're going to need it. You may not want it. We're going to walk back. And what I just did there is I picked up the hips and I lengthened the tailbone towards the left knee. So as you're walking back, I hope you're feeling your left quadriceps. And for those who would like to, you take this block on the tall setting, you place it where the shoulder blades are going to be. Watch out for your glasses. You can hold your head with your hands. Lengthen the tailbone towards your left knee. So that's a stable and active practice right there. The left leg is not just passive. Press the left shin down, tailbone long, draw the low belly in. We don't want the ribs to be hyperextending, so they're not really flaring up towards the ceiling. And then what you can do is walk yourself back up to sitting. And take the right leg down to Virasana. Notice how the two legs feel one to the other. And then bring the left knee up. So the right leg, we're going to try to keep that down. So when you first go back, it's helpful to lift the hips right there and make more of a posterior tilt. So you've got the tailbone lengthening towards your right knee. And then as you come back, you may still have your block there where you placed it for your shoulder blades. So rest your upper back on the block. Please hold your head with your hands and lengthen the right hip and tailbone towards your right knee. What you're going to do is roll forward and place your hands raised back up to sitting. Let's take the right foot out, liberate your block. Take both blocks and place them near to your feet with your strap, should be close by. So the Ujjayi breath is going to be, again, subtle and important. It's kind of trance inducing, right? Let's make this yoga strap so that it's just shoulder width when you put your hands in here, like this. And with your feet elevated on the block, so put your feet on the medium setting on the blocks. And let's make the blocks a little bit wider than hip distance. And if you have squishy blocks, please keep in mind you're going to have an advanced experience. You have to be advanced yoga student to have squishy blocks. Take the strap, please, around your wrists. So the arms are shoulder width apart. Tuck each shoulder under. Press firmly down with your palms, with your elbows, your upper arms, your shoulders. Lengthen through your tailbone towards your knees. So don't press up with the lumbar spine higher than your sacrum can wisely go. So it shouldn't just feel like you're making a compensation in the lower back. Keep the Ujjayi breath simple, consistent, and subtle. And roll your hips down. Loosen the strap from your wrist. Take the shoulder blades out. Place your feet flat on the floor. Now we want the strap to be within reach, and bring each block within reach for your hands. So we're going to take the blocks and place them under the back of the pelvis. And for some of you, that's going to mean that you do 2 blocks. Each one is flat. And so you have this supported bridge pose, and we have the yoga strap. Now for others, it might mean that you're using only 1 block under the back of the pelvis and it's on the medium setting. So place the strap, secure the arms. You've got the hips. Bring the knees up and come to candlestick pose. And again, we want to use the most subtle form of the Ujjayi breath. Maintain the actions of the pose, but without tension or aggression. Release the strap from the hands. Bend your knees. Keep the pelvis stable and lower your toes to the floor, either one foot at a time or both feet together. Raise your hips and put one of those blocks aside. And then come down to this we call positional pranayama. You have your hips elevated on one block. And just sense, you can relax the torso and the shoulders. Sense what happens now with the breath. Notice where the breath is located geographically, and also whatever its natural pace is right now. And then press into your feet gently. Raise your hips, and let's come to Shavasana. Come to your Shavasana pose, know that it's preceding meditation. So it's really important that we give ourselves to the Shavasana quite completely. Don't practice Ujjayi breathing during Shavasana. This is the place where we let go. Without judging, just notice the moment-to-moment experience of your body. Body getting more still or doing some of its cleansing chores. open inside as the progress of your Shavasana continues. This is the pose of surrender. You allow the body to do the thing that it's doing on your behalf. It's doing this on your behalf. Allow the process of the cleansing, the recalibrating. Keeping your attention inward, let the Shavasana go deeper yet again. You don't know the depth it can go to in the surrender. Sing in the tapas, as the discipline that leads to the purification, not just of the body, but also of the mind. Just go 1 minute deeper. And lightly wiggle your fingers on your toes. Please bend your knees. Roll to your side. And return to sitting. Nice feet, honey. Yeah, you can sit with me. You want that section? Can I have a little corner? Almost, almost enough for me. There we go. So please take your seat comfortably and upright and let that sort of tapas cleansing thing that was just happening, allow that to be observed so you can really sense what happens in Shavasana. And raise your right hand up in preparation for Nadi Shodhana. And my recommendation this morning for Nadi Shodhana is that we'll do inhale left, and then we'll, whatever length that is, equal suspend, exhale right, equal length as the others. Brief pause for the exhale, and then inhale right, equal suspend, and exhale left. So it'll make an upside down triangle. Some people call that a martini glass. If you like, you can say. So beginning at your own timing. Try to make each part, the inhale, the pause, and the exhale, consistent and comfortable. And the exhale pause is brief, not too long, not too short. Rest your hand back in your lap. And let's see if we can rest in the trance of the yoga. As my teacher Acharya says, we have the capacity for trance. Can we then rest into it? Allow the mind to be still. Whatever the stimulus of thought or sensation, that the mind can be tranquil. Just raise your hands to your heart. We touch the trance in our yoga practice. Let's also then invite in the difficulties and the dilemmas in our world. For those who need more people responding from love and clarity. Going a little bit crazy with her digging again, so. Hey, honey. You can't, it's okay. You don't have to dig a hole in the floor over there. Yeah. Let me close our recording here.